Okay, we're back, and like we said, we're going to start with preparing for basic switch management 2.1.1.4. A console cable is used to connect the PC to the console port of a switch, as depicted in figure 2-4. To remotely manage the switch, it must be initially configured through the console port. To prepare a switch for remote management access, the switch must be configured with an IP address and a subnet mask. Keep in mind that to manage the switch from a remote network, the switch must be configured with the default gateway. This is very similar to configuring the IP address information on host devices. In figure 2-4, the switch virtual interface SVI on SR1 should be assigned an IP address. The SVI is a virtual interface, not a physical port on the switch. SVI is a concept related to VLANs. VLANs are numbered logical groups to which physical ports can be assigned. Configurations and settings applied to a VLAN are also applied to all the ports assigned to that VLAN. By default, the switch is configured to have the management of the switch controlled through VLAN. All ports are assigned to VLAN 1 by default. For security purposes, it is considered the best practice to use a VLAN other than VLAN 1 for the management VLAN. Note that these IP settings are only for remote management access to the switch. The IP settings will not allow the switch to route layer 3 packets. Figure 2-4, preparing for remote management. Configuring basic switch management access with IPv4 2.1.1.5. To configure basic switch management access with IPv4, follow these steps. Configure the management interface. An IP address and subnet mask are configured on the management SVI of the switch from VLAN interface configuration mode. As shown in table 2-1, the interface VLAN-99 command is used to enter interface configuration mode. The IP address command is used to configure the IP address. The no shutdown command enables the interface. In this example, VLAN-99 is configured with IP address 172.17.99.11. Cisco Switch Management Interface. Cisco Switch iOS commands. Enter global configuration mode. S1 hash configure terminal. Enter interface configuration mode. S1 parenthesis config and parenthesis hash sign interface VLAN 99. Configure the management interface IP address. S1 parenthesis config dash IF and parenthesis hash sign IP address 172.179.911 255.255.255.0. Enable the management interface. S1 config if hash sign no shutdown. Return to the privileged exec mode. S1 config dash if hash sign end. Save the running configuration file to the startup configuration file. S1 hash sign copy running config. Startup config. The SVI for VLAN-99 will not appear as up until VLAN-99 is created and there is a device connected to a switch port associated with VLAN-99. To create a VLAN with the VLAN underscore ID of 99 and associated to interface fast Ethernet 0-1, use the following commands. S1 config hash VLAN 99. S1 config dash VLAN hash name MGMT. S1 config hash sign interface #0/1. S1 config dash if hash sign switch port access VLAN 99. Step 2. Configure the default gateway. The switch should be configured with the default gateway. It will be managed remotely from networks not directly connected. The default gateway is the route that the switch is connected to. The switch will forward its IP packets with its destination IP addresses outside the local network to the default gateway. As shown in table 2-2, R1 is the default gateway. For S1, the interface on R1 connected to the switch has IP address 172.17.99.1. This address is the default gateway address for S1. To configure the default gateway for the switch, use the IP default gateway command. As shown in figure 2-5, enter the IP address of the default gateway. The default gateway is the IP address of the router interface to which the switch is connected. Use the copy running config startup config command to back up your configuration. Figure 2-5, default gateway. Table 2-2, configure default gateway for switch. Cisco switch iOS command. Enter global configuration mode, S1 hash configure terminal. Configure the default gateway for the switch, S1 configure hash IP default dash gateway 172.1.7.9.1. Return to the privileged exec mode, S1 config hash end. Save the running configuration file to the startup configuration file. S1 hash sound copy running config startup config. Step 3. Verifying the configuration. As shown in figure 2-6, the show IP interface brief command is useful when determining the status of both physical and virtual interfaces. The output shown confirms that interface VLAN-99 has been configured with an IP address and a subnet mask, and that the interface status is up. Figure 2-6, verify switch management interface configuration. Lab 2.1.1.6, configuring basic switch settings. In this lab, you will complete the following objectives. Part 1, cable the network and verify the default switch configuration. Part 2, configure basic network device settings. Part 3, verify and test network connectivity. Part 4, manage the MAC-adres-table. Next is configure switch ports 2.1